Yes.
What's up, Zach Benson? How are you this morning?
Hey, brother, I'm super good. Yeah, man, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling amazing, dude. I'm so pumped to have you. For those of you joining us either live on Facebook or the webinar, thank you very much. Zach and I met a couple of years ago at a closing table, very high level real estate mastermind. If you guys ever want to talk about masterminds like that, I can get you an invite to go to that. But anyways, Zach and I became friends. We had some fun for the weekend and we've kept in touch over the last couple of years. But watching you, Zach, has been amazing. Your company growth, your growth. You guys watching this, if you had any idea the life this guy lives, you will absolutely crud yourself because he is mind blowing, and he's going to share some of those hacks with us today. And just so you know, I'm at home. So if there's noise in the background, dog barking, it looks like Zach's still in Iowa at his parents' house. Hey, it's just a normal COVID live thing. And if I yell at my dogs and all that, I apologize. So, Zach, do me a favor. Tell everybody who you are, where you came from, what you've built, and what we're going to talk about today. And let's blow some minds, because one thing I know is I've made the commitment to have you work on my Instagram, and
Yeah.
I'm excited. So I want to invite all these people to watch the proof in the pudding over the next 30, 60, 90 days, what happens to my account. So everybody make sure you follow me, Mike Bjorkman, and we'll get to see Zach's magic at work. But let's tell them how we're going to get there, brother.
Yeah, for sure. So just to give you guys a little bit of background on me and where I came from. So I was actually born in South Korea and then adopted by my parents in the States. So grew up in a place called Iowa. So I'm here right now in their basement, just quarantining, trying to stay safe. Um, but yeah, before all this marketing stuff, I was actually a break dancer, and then I taught dance all around the world. I was on So You Think You Can Dance, this TV show, and then taught in 50 countries, right? So I was living life. I was doing something I loved, I was traveling, teaching dance, making good money. And then I hurt my back, and which ended my career, right? And so I had to get a couple surgeries. And after that, I couldn't dance again, and became depressed and sad and didn't know what I was going to do. And so the same dude who got me into dancing, this kid who I grew up with in Iowa, called me and was like, Zach, I know you're depressed. You're going through some hard times. Like, you got to get in on this Instagram thing. So this was like 2015. And I was like, okay, right, you've never done me wrong. So I invested $10,000 in an Instagram account and just, ended up owning 10% of that account. It wasn't that good of a deal, but I ended up making most of my money back. And we used that money in that account to grow other people's accounts and just rinse and repeated the process. And, fast forward today, guys, I have a 220 million network on Instagram. So
Does that mean that means how many followers are on all your accounts?
yeah. So I own like 30, 40 accounts myself, and then all of the influencers and people and celebrities that we've signed to do work for us. Collectively, we have a 220 million reach. So we're working with big companies, big brands like Ritz-Carlton. I've done stuff with like Robert Kiyosaki and just other people. Like, they're coming to us to grow their accounts and grow their communities. And I'm excited to teach you guys how we do it, not only on my accounts, but our clients' accounts today.
That's awesome. So let
Yeah.
me ask you a question. How do you even meet a guy like Robert Kiyosaki? I think I would fall over and pass out. Like I listen to his podcast every
Yeah.
week, Rich Dad Radio. That would be my dream, to go hang out with Robert Kiyosaki. So how did you meet a guy like that?
Well, I grew up reading his books, and then, uh, long story short, what happened was I spoke at this mastermind called the War Room with Roland Frazier and digital marketer. And then I met this guy named Mark Anthony Bates, and Mark Anthony connected me with the Rich Dad Company. And he's like, you gotta get to know Zach and have him on your podcast. So I got invited to Robert's personal studio in Scottsdale, was on his radio show, and we did a podcast together. And then he became my client. And
That's
so,
why I just wanted you to extract a little more out of that, because that's a big deal, dude. Like
yeah,
Robert's a stud. Maybe I met you at War Room. Was it Closing Table or War Room, or did you do both?
yeah, I did both.
Okay. I just remember hanging out with you at some Ritz Carlton, or was it in Beverly Hills or Laguna or something? I don't know. Whatever,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. All right, dive back in. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah. So we did the show, got the whole tour and everything. It was fun. We did about an hour interview. So it was with him and his wife, Kim. And then, yeah, shortly after he became a client. And so now we're, growing him and Russell Brunson and founder of ClickFunnels. And a lot of these guys are they're smart marketers. They're really great entrepreneurs, but they don't specialize in everything, right? And so that's why they hired us, a company like ours, a Sistergram, to do the work and grow their communities and followings on Instagram.
That's so awesome, man. All right, so for us normal people, and not these ultimate celebrities, how do we start to, what's the theory? The theory of Instagram has changed over the last couple of years, I think. So maybe you can fill me in or fill us in on kind of the theory and what we're going to be doing with this.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's 2020, right? The algorithms have gotten a lot smarter. They've changed. 5 years ago, even before that, when Instagram first started, you could just simply post and your account would grow, right? Like we were growing accounts, thousands of followers per day. And that's how we built up such a big network. But, nowadays, like follow, unfollow, like automation, like any tools like that, any apps like robots, like this stuff doesn't work anymore. So if you guys are using it, you want to stop because your accounts could get compromised, shut down, and deleted. And so with all the algorithm changes, really the only way to grow is through shout outs, right? So there's really 3 tips that I tell people. Like if you're just starting out and you're not even on Instagram, now's the time to get on it so that you can just be ahead of the game and not left behind, because it's really, really growing fast. There's almost 2 billion active users, 700,000 people using Instagram stories. And so I tell people, if you're just starting out, the first thing that you want to do is you want to see what others are doing and repost their content onto your page, right? So the first strategy is using like a repost strategy. Like let's say that your account's all about motivation and entrepreneurship and inspirational videos and quotes. You could repost a video from like Tony Robbins or repost a quote from Gary Vee. And what's going to happen is it's going to get the people that are following them start to follow you. And it's also a great way, like when you're first starting, to just put out content, because you need to be posting at least like, every day, right? If not 2 to 4 times a day to get more growth.
I was going to say that because people are so worried about, oh, I don't want to be too spammy. I'm like, no, man, blast away. Not everybody's going to see your stuff, but you need to have a good
Yeah,
active account. Is there an algorithm in Instagram that says, hey, Mike Bjorkman, this guy is really starting to use us and like us, so let's give him some more love?
yeah. Well, I mean, it's just, like the algorithm is kind of like Facebook, right? You know how like Facebook, the algorithms work like this, guys. So like let's say that today is the July 20th, right? So like even 4 years ago, like Facebook shows you memories. They show you like old posts that you made. And so if you click on those old posts and you actually reply to a comment, it hits the algorithms again, so that your post from 4 years ago pops up into people's feeds today. And this is a trick that I use all the time, like on Facebook and Instagram, right? And it's like, if you have a really good post that you made maybe like a year ago or even 3 months ago or 4 years ago, I comment on my old posts because I want to I want to be top of mind and top of feed for my clients and my customers and just potential, like all my friends on Facebook, right? And so the algorithms work like that. So the more engagement that you get in a short window of time or even over time, it brings you back to the top and gets your content seen and known all over the place.
So that's hack number one. Hopefully everybody wrote that down.
Hack number 1 is reposting other people's content,
Oh,
giving
that was a good one.
giving them credit. And the just kind of special bonus is like, yeah, comment on, you want to get engagement on that piece of content as fast as possible after you post. You want to get as much likes and comments as you can, and throughout the day. And even after that post, you can go back and get more engagement on it.
Awesome. So let's take a break in between hacks, right? And do a little entertainment and motivation. So tell me about your luxury hotel sites and tell me
Yeah.
some stories about how you are literally traveling the world for free because you are an influencer on Instagram.
Yeah. So in the past 3 years, I've been able to get over 800 nights um, in the past like 3 years. So basically, like these hotels, they invite me out. They want me to showcase my experience to all of their followers. And I've gotten hotels for 125 nights. I got a hotel in Bali. It's a 5-star hotel. It's 10 villas. I sealed a deal for 125 nights just last year. So I used 50 nights straight for myself, and then the rest of the nights I used for my friends, family, and business partners. Um, but I own at luxury hotels, at best hotels, um, all these different accounts, and so people actually reach out to us. I've gotten hotels that have been, $23,000 a night in the Maldives. The huts on the water, like the slide, the moon roof, the whole works. To like I said, the uh, time in Bali. So I use it because I'm not like one of those entitled like influencers guys. Like I don't feel I like to pay for things, and like, but I also like to make things and people better. And I think the reason why I've gotten so many free nights is because my my deals, like my offers, are like, I mean, it's like a full stacked offer, right? Whereas maybe like another influencer only offers a couple Instagram posts. I find like 12 things I can help the hotel with. I'm like, hey, I'll come and create content for you. Me and my team will create a video. We'll do pictures. We'll do positive Instagram posts. We'll do reviews on Facebook, TripAdvisor. We'll, you know, post you on accounts that have 12 million followers. We'll come do a training, right? So when I'm approaching these hotels, I'm like, okay, let me first do my research. Let me do my homework. When I reach out to them, let me make them feel like, okay, this guy's done his homework. He gets me. He gets our brand, and his offer is amazing, right? And I think that's how I get so many nights for free.
You're getting to a point now where I think we were talking a while back and you said even private jet companies are starting to take notice of what you're doing.
Right,
So now
right.
you're gonna fly your punk butt to freaking the Maldives on a private jet and stuff. So
Yeah,
can you type in the chat or possibly or maybe repeat the some of the Instagram or maybe do a screen share if you want and show us some of those.
okay.
Um,
Yeah, that'd be fun.
let me
Let's do that.
ticket all panelists. Okay, I changed the screen sharing. Brent Conley says he's gonna quit real estate. And I don't think so, Brent, but that was funny.
I see that.
Yeah, we see it.
So this is my site. This was like my first trip to the Maldives. This was like 3 years ago. So you see, this is at Soniva Johnny, which is the
Oh, dude, look at that. So if you
yeah.
guys are listening to the podcast later, you might want to come back to the YouTube channel and watch this.
So this is a bed like with the moon roof. Boom, drone up through the roof. Yeah. So this was in the Maldives. That was all for free. That was 7 nights. Got that like 3 years ago, and then they host me again for like 15 nights. Um, I have like all my different adventures. So I've traveled to like 50 countries. This needs to be updated a little bit, but this is like in Budapest. This is in Koh Samui. So all of these hotels want to collaborate with us because we drive them more tourist visits. We bring them more customers, right? We create the content, we post, we distribute it on the network, and it brings them more clients, right? So yeah, so I love this. I love this. This is
What are you,
something that
what are you,
everybody can do
21 years
because when
old?
you have a big Instagram page, you can leverage it and use it to get whatever you want, whether it's free travel, private jets, designer clothing. Um, the list goes on and on. But I use it a lot to connect with influencers, celebrities, and other people to promote my brands and my products. So
Amazing. So
here's some more stuff.
how many followers do you need to
Yeah.
start getting attention like that?
Yeah.
And for you guys listening, saying, how in the world does this apply to real estate? Hang in there. It's going to tie in a minute.
Yes.
So, so how many people do you think you really need to have an Instagram account? How many until you can call yourself an influencer?
I would say that at least like you at least want to have 10,000 followers, because then you can swipe up and do the story swipe ups and send traffic to different offers and things that you're trying to promote. But if I was gonna say like what would like how many followers do you need to be like considered an influencer and to be able to do this type of stuff? Um, I would say around 50,000 to 100,000 followers, right? But the thing is that you can do this without having a big following, guys. You can do this without having miles and points and all these credit cards, right? Like, you know, when you belong to a big network, you can leverage each other's accounts and use other people's accounts to get free travel, right? Does that make sense? Like,
Mhm.
so if you have 20,000 followers, right, you could reach out, make friends with the page that has 100,000 followers, and then you guys could create a partnership. And then you could use each other's page to promote different products and offers.
Crazy.
Yeah.
How many do you need to get with the blue check mark? What was that?
Okay, so blue check mark. So let me break this down, right? So um if you guys so at Zach Vacay, right? This is my personal account, right? And then I have right, all of these different accounts. Um but if you look at Zach Vacay, like I have the blue check mark. So let me break down like what you need to have that blue check mark. Okay. So first, what is it, right? It means that you're like you have that celebrity stamp of approval, like you're a legit celebrity person or brand that Instagram's like and Facebook endorses. So it's more of a street cred, like social proof type of symbol that unlocks dozens and dozens of benefits. Okay. So how do you get it? Well, the first thing is that like if you're on Instagram, you need at least 30,000 followers. Okay, these are 2020 rules. Like before, you know, you could see people with 1,000 followers or 500 followers have the blue dot, but it was maybe because they were like a model, they were signed by a big agency, they were an athlete like that played in college or in the NFL or some or you know some like news channel person, right? So that's how they got the blue check, is because they had that access. But for everybody else, like nowadays, you have to have at least 30,000 followers on Instagram. You have to have at least 10 full feature articles, right? What does that mean? So you have to have 10 press articles all about you and your business. Okay. So like your name in the title, like your picture, your website, your social media links, all in the article, like 2 to 3 paragraphs all about you. Um, and so those are really the two like criterias that you need to meet before you can before they'll even take a look at you. Um,
Yeah, they denied me pretty quick back in
yeah,
the day.
I mean, you know, there's ways that we can do it because, you know, we got connections and stuff. But
Well, that's
you
what I
know,
wanted to
like
have you on. So our friends listening, people
yeah,
that, you know, that I surround myself with, and believe it or not, there's massive amounts of influencers that are going to watch us or are watching now.
yeah,
And they might need a little help. And that's why I wanted to bring you into our world and
yeah,
offer your services, because it is like, we're so busy selling houses or running the businesses that we're running, you know, recruiting, whatever we're doing. We don't have time to like really learn this stuff. And I learned a long time ago, you got to pay to play, right? I mean, you could organically do all this stuff. Obviously, you've done it and you are doing it for your clients, but that's you're spending all day, every day on that. We can't do that. Like, there's no way. But I mean, we can go from 2 or 3,000 followers, like the average real estate agent has, up to 5 or 6,000, like me. Like I'm stuck. Like you've heard the word plateau. I
yeah,
get, I travel between 6 and 7,000 followers, and I think now I'm having more people unfollow me than follow me, and I'm
mhm,
like so frustrated. That's why I'm like, that's it, Zach, come save my life, you know. so
yeah. I feel you.
so how can some of these hacks that we're talking about equate to the real estate agent? Like let's say an agent is a big influencer in their community, right? And we're talking about reposting other things. So would they go into the community, repost community events? Like what ideas would you have to get more big into your own community or your own area to start building, so you are your town celebrity?
So the repost strategy is just one strategy that like we use now. Like we don't have to use that. Like so, most of our clients they just want to use their own original content or have like their content like done for them. We make it, and so we don't use any repost strategy. But I was saying like, hey, if you're just starting out, right, you can use the repost strategy in the beginning to get some traction, and then you can archive that content. You can delete it, but doing so will help you see like what type of content is doing really well, and then help you like give you some ideas to create content like that. But if you're like into real estate and like, okay, how does this apply to me, what can I use it for? Well, I mean, every single day, like think of Instagram as like the new Google, like the new YouTube. I mean, people are just using it to scope out neighborhoods they want to like buy houses in, right? Things that they want to use and buy, right? So they're using Instagram to see people's personal experiences. And so it's very important for you guys to hit the top post for different hashtags and neighborhoods that people are searching for every single day, right? So if you live in whatever city, right? Los Angeles or New York City or even smaller cities, right? The goal is to have your post hit the top 9 posts for that city, or that keyword every single day, right? Like luxury homes in, Los Angeles or LA or whatever, right? There's so many different types of hashtags and keywords. So the goal for you guys is to just be top of mind. Like, okay, yes, this is the guy, this is the girl that I got to use, because then you're constantly like exposing yourself, and it takes like usually multiple exposures before somebody actually buys something like a house or something high ticket. So think if you can constantly pop up in people's feed every single day on Instagram while they're waking up, scrolling, right, liking, commenting, that's going to set you apart, and they're going to come to you for that deal.
I just learned something not too long ago, and I could be stupid by saying it, but I started following hashtags and not necessarily people.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started noticing different people and businesses, and then recently have done business with them because of following those hashtags that introduced me to them. That makes sense?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
strange. I mean, I never thought in a million years I would be a consumer based on a hashtag, and that's what happened. So I'm
Yeah,
like, oh, well, how do I apply that to real estate, right? So just like you said, luxury homes in LA. If somebody's following that, like we all know that any big realtor or any realtor is going to post their listings, and if they use that hashtag, and I'm looking for a house, I'm going to follow that hashtag. And I never thought about that until just recently. And of course, we've been on Instagram for years. So I'm like, dang, man, that's why I'm starting to take it more seriously. And I'd almost rather put time and effort and money into my Instagram and then worry about TikTok later, because it's just the law of momentum is going crazy, right, with Instagram. And I would imagine once you get to be that influencer status on Instagram, it's just easier because you do have that law of momentum. Would you agree? The followers naturally start coming after a while.
yeah, once you dial in the good, like get your profile optimized, the good content strategy, you're using the right hashtags, you're hitting the top posts for different keywords and things that people are searching for, you naturally just start to grow, right? You're gonna see more momentum and more traction. But it's just that first like little bump, right, that you have to like get, like, and I would say at least 10,000 followers should be everybody's benchmark, because that unlocks like a whole bunch of features and special bonuses that you can use on your Instagram account. Like, um, and so do the blue checks, right? Like,
So those are the golden tickets. What, I've never seen that. What is it? Give me two or three things that are special when
so
we
yeah,
optimize.
yeah, when you hit 10,000 followers, you unlock the story swipe up. So then people can instantly just swipe up and go and buy something that you're offering. When you have the blue check mark, like let's say that you leave a message on like a famous celebrity's wall, like The Rock, like Dwayne Johnson. I mean, he gets thousands and thousands of comments. So if you have the blue check mark, your comment is then pushed to the top, right? So it drives more traffic and
I have
exposure.
noticed that.
Hey, you can do longer IGTV videos and longer IG live videos, right? Like your IGTV videos go from like 10 minutes to up to an hour. So you can do more long form type content. Um, And then also it improves conversions. Like think about it, like when people are like, just something simple, like when people are googling your searching for you on Instagram, right? They want to look at your lifestyle, they want to look at you, who you are, like what do you do, what are you about. And if you have those check marks, it's just like, okay, this person is legit. It's just, it's the bigger numbers you have and the blue checks, I mean, it just equals to more like street cred nowadays. And it's useful because then people, it piques their interest, they give you a chance, they stay on your page, they consume your content, they follow, and then they become a fan, right? And then they become a client. And so a lot of people, you know, are able to just, you know, connect with better people and higher caliber people once they have a bigger following and they have that blue check mark.
Is there a special age demographic that we should be targeting, or is it just random?
Yeah, well, it's really just depends on your goals, but I feel like everybody, like it's good to be everywhere, right? Like young and old, old to young, because the young are going to be old, right? And so they're going to be your future customers. And so I think, you know, Instagram is really for, it's changing. The demographics are changing. So it was really young age, but now it's getting older, right? People in their 40s and 50s and 60s are using Instagram just to see, to scroll and like and buy stuff.
Gotcha. Let's see. Brent lowered his hand. All right. So let's talk about hashtags.
Yes, hashtags.
As a real estate agent, should we be using that hashtag app and copying and pasting that, or is Instagram smart to that now and they want to see more authentic and genuine posting, or are they still like, hey, we'll just go with that?
Yeah, so we don't personally use any of those types of apps. We don't use later.com. Everything we do is manual. So we do manually. So just straight up a lot of human power. So like, let's talk about hashtags, for example. Like if you guys type, like how to do hashtags and search for hashtags the right way. I'm going to break that down. So let's start with the basic hashtag like real estate or luxury homes or luxury or like motivation. Those hashtags alone have millions and millions of posts on them. So the likelihood of you and your content, piece of content getting seen in that hashtag is, it's like zero chances because so many people are using that hashtag every single day, using it like multiple times a day, hundreds of times a day. So you want to actually start with a big hashtag like that, and then Instagram is going to show you related hashtags to that hashtag. Like you're going to niche down, right? So does that make sense? So like if you start with the hashtag motivation, scroll down and left and right, and you're going to find related hashtags to motivation, like motivational quote or like um, you know, 24-hour motivation, right? And some of these hashtags that you click on that are related to motivation, the big one, have like less number of posts. And so you want to keep scrolling down and finding hashtags that have smaller number of posts on them until you find ones that have maybe between like 50 to 100,000 posts per hashtag, right? 100 to 200,000 posts per hashtag. And you're going to want to use these hashtags with a smaller number of posts on them so that you increase your likelihood of getting your content seen. Um, so instead of just using like the generic ones, like niche down and find.
I would have thought that to be opposite. That's totally crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, all right, so the hashtags, like I live in Santa Clarita, California, right?
Yeah.
So if I'm a real estate agent and I'm posting a listing or a blog post or something, should I be aiming towards the city or being more specific towards real estate? So should I hashtag Santa Clarita, hashtag SCV, our abbreviation,
Yeah.
hashtag all the little cities within there? Should I be doing that, or should I be going more laser focused to what the post is about?
You need to be doing both. And then also like I'd recommend like geotagging it, right? So you can actually tag in and lock in a location wherever you're at or wherever you want the post to be tagged in.
So that
Because
means check in where it says
yeah,
you're in Santa Clarita.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Because People are searching for those hashtags still. So it's like, even though like you use hashtags that are not, maybe not totally related to your post, like 100%, it's still a good thing to use those hashtags too, because it's going to drive more traffic to your page and basically get your content, make it your content searchable so that it's easier to find. I think someone asked like, how many hashtags should you use? Well, you want to use maybe like two to three, like one to three relevant hashtags in your caption, like this in the description of the post. And then after you post, you want to copy and paste the rest of the hashtags in the first comment. And so I recommend using, anywhere from 25 to 30 hashtags. Now, there's a lot of misinformation out there. Like before, like people did some tricks and you could use 60 hashtags, or some people are saying like 30 hashtags is bad. The thing is that the reason I think a lot of those people were getting banned is because they were using automation and tools to make their life easier. They're using a hashtag app. They're using follow, unfollow, right? They're using automation in later.com. And so because they're using so many different tools, Instagram flagged them. So it's not really about how many hashtags you use or you don't use, but I still recommend doing the max.
That's 30 is the
Yeah.
max? All right. When you say do 2 or 3 in the main post and then the rest in the last comments. So again, back to that app for hashtags, if you type in entrepreneur and there's, 30 hashtags, are you still saying don't copy and paste those, or copy and paste them into your notes, customize them to you, and then use that to copy and paste into the comments?
Exactly. Customize them to you. Like we do everything in like the notepad, everything from like writing your bio, right? For your Instagram profile, we write it out in the notepad. So everything can be aligned. We use emojis and it helps with the spacing and stuff. But then we also like write out all the hashtag sets and or different hashtag sets in the notepad. And we rotate those hashtag sets throughout the month to see which ones perform the best on our page, which ones give us more clicks and likes and follows. Yep.
All right, so here's a question that's my personal question, and I know some of the people watching are going to hire you, right? So
Okay.
if you guys are working on my Instagram account,
Mhm.
do I have specific, like you guys look at my account and say, you're a moron, take all this stuff off, and don't ever post like that again? And can I post in conjunction with you? So if I go to Hawaii this weekend,
Mhm.
and can I just do my normal fun, or is there a theme? Like I look at some of your Instagram accounts and they look so professional, like a multi-billion-dollar marketing companies doing it. Is there a because my MO or my vibe, I'm
Yeah.
just fun. Like I like to post whatever I feel like at the time. Should I
Bigger.
be like, hey man,
Yeah.
can I post when you're posting for me too? Or do you say, here's your little play account, go get another one for yourself, let's build this one?
The thing is, so how it works is you hop on onboarding strategy call with our director of content, and he tells you the do's, the don'ts. He tells you how we can optimize it. And I mean, we do everything for you in the sense that if you have other content that needs polished up or cleaned up or edited to look nice, like maybe you're not a graphic designer, you don't know how to do that. You just hand over all of your pictures, your content, we chop it up, we make it look nice. And the only thing that you're really responsible for are the captions, right? Because it's your personal experiences, your story. um, and so, yeah, I mean, you can keep doing what you're doing. We can do a little bit of our stuff and mix it with yours. I mean, it's really up to you, but like we do lay out a very clean strategy and recommendations. We say, hey, it'd be best if you do this, this, and that. We lay out best practices. Now, if you want to follow them, some people follow them all to a T, and some people don't. But we're still able to make it work and guarantee the growth every single month, as long
What
as
I
you're.
think I heard you say, Zach, is it just depends on how lame your account is, and we'll look at them individually.
Yeah.
You can say that. so so now I have to go back. Hey, maybe after we're done, will you go back to the live comments in the coaching group and invite those in too? These people want that too in
Yeah.
there. He's typing all these really cool things in the webinar side, you guys. Go to zoomwithmikeb.com and you can check out all the stuff he's done. All right, so where are we at? Where do you feel like, hey, I'm talking to a group of real estate agents for the most part and business owners and entrepreneur spirits. Where do we go now from here? Like, what are the last several hacks that we need to go over or talk about? Or
Yeah. So talked about reposting. We talked a little bit about hashtags. Now, the third tip that I want to give you guys is engagement groups. Okay. So what are engagement groups? How do you get into them? So it's just like anything, right? Like LinkedIn or Facebook, like the more people that you get liking and commenting and like engaging with your content, um, boost your content, right? And so it gets more views, it gets more follows, gets more likes. And so the same thing with Instagram. So how it works in just one of our strategies, but that's pretty important, is called engagement groups. So we get inside, we create these DM groups, direct message groups inside the Instagram app. And inside each DM group, you can put yourself and 14 other people. And so what happens is when you have a group of 15 people total, you're all liking and commenting on each other's posts throughout the day. So when you post, you copy that URL link, you drop it inside the group and say posted. And then everybody starts engaging. And so we're in like hundreds of these groups. And in order for it to work, you need to be in a lot of them. Um, but okay, how do you get into these groups? And how did I get into these groups for very like pennies, right? Like, when I was first starting out and I didn't have a lot of followers, I reached out to pages that were millions of followers, that had millions of followers or 100,000 followers, and I'd say, hey, I'd be willing to pay you for each engagement group that you can get me into, because like this is kind of an underground thing. Maybe some of you have heard of it, some of you haven't, but this is like common knowledge for people who are really taking Instagram seriously. And so when I said like, hey, I love your page, I love your content, like I'm new to Instagram, I want to get into some engagement groups, I see that you're into some groups, like I would be willing to pay you $5 for each engagement group you can get me into, right? And some would say yes, some would say no. It was a hustle, it was a numbers game, but I got in enough early on. This was like 5 years ago, where like kids that were like 18 years old, 15 years old, were suddenly making like $100, like just like that. And to them, that was quick and easy, fast money. And that's how we got in these groups. So you can pay your way in, guys. You need to be in at least, I would suggest 50 bare minimum engagement groups every single day of 15 people, right? So it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of grind. But if you do it, dude, you'll see results. Like my Zach Vacay page, I've grown it from 0 to now 70 some thousand followers without spending any money on it, right? I'm not using the same strategies that I'm using for myself or my clients. I just someone was like, hey, do your strategies still work with this simple repost method and the simple hashtag method and the simple engagement method? And I was able to do that just with these strategies that I'm sharing with you guys right now here for free. Like this is what we use to build repost accounts. And you're like, okay, well, Zach, like if you go to Zach Vacay, you're like, why is this all reposted content? Well, my strategy is I want to get other people that want to travel the world, do a working from anywhere lifestyle like me, and monetize it. And so my academy, Tribe Influencer Academy, teaches people how to do that and travel the world for free. And so my whole goal with my Zach Vacay account is not to necessarily just post my content, but repost other people's content, give them credit, use these strategies that I'm teaching you guys now to grow the page and get them inside my funnel. Because if you look at my Zach Vacay page, like my call to action is learn how we travel the world for free. And then it brings them to my Forbes article. And then it's like all about how millennials travel the world for free with Instagram. And at the bottom of the article is my freebie lead magnet. So I say, hey, if you're really serious, click on this link below and we'll give you a free guide. And then once they click on that lead magnet, it brings them to my Facebook chatbot, where then everything is automated. And so this is how I get leads while I sleep, guys. And then it's like, hey, so you want our free guide. What's your best email? Where do we send it to? They type it in, boom. It's on its way. By the way, do you want to get into my free Facebook group? We're going to be sharing more value and knowledge. Like, and then I get like 40 or 50 yeses every single day just from this simple funnel.
So to equate that to real estate, guys, so imagine having your own Instagram, big thing, reposting all kinds of stuff, and then you follow the same funnel as he is, except you're doing not necessarily market evaluations or something like that, but it could be that. It could be a, best practices real estate group, or best deals in your town group or something like that. And then now you're building a list, right? And how valuable is a list, Zach? Fully opted in list, with thousands of people in your town could be probably the most valuable thing ever. And then you retarget them, and now you've just added to your audience like no tomorrow. And these are the reasons we do go to War Room and Closing Table and stuff like that, to learn stuff like that for our own real estate business. And if you take it very seriously and learn about funnels and different sort of things like that, people say, why are you giving away these free ebooks? And what, they don't understand what's next, right? There's the free lead magnet, and then there's the $97 ticket item, and then there's a high ticket item coming there. You're going to sell a seminar or a conference, and it's no different than what we do, right? It's called info marketing, but we just do it in our local community. And I'm trying to learn it because I'm taking recruiting very seriously across the country. And that's one of the reasons I want Zach to help me build my list and my funnels and my followers, so I can be an influencer as a real estate agent across the country and attract more and more people to our amazing company. So that's kind of the idea behind it, why I want to go national and international. And I wouldn't mind traveling for free sometimes too, right? So I just wanted to break that down a little bit. I know that got a little complicated really fast, you guys, but I can direct you in a million different directions where you can learn about that stuff. All right, carry on. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, the main thing is just like keep it simple, be consistent, post multiple times a day if you want to use growth. Niche down, find hashtags that have smaller number of posts on them, because, and the reason why somebody asked that in the group, why use hashtags that have smaller number of posts on them, Zach? Well, because it takes less for you to hit the top posts. So if you have an account that has like maybe 1,000 followers on it, and you're getting like 50 likes per post, like, in order to hit a big hashtag that has millions of posts on it, you have to have pretty high engagement. So that's why I recommend using smaller hashtags, because the people that are using the smaller hashtags have less engagement on their posts, which then increases likelihood of your post being top, which then leads to more traffic and followers to your page. So the hashtags and then the engagement groups. Those are really the 3 strategies that I'm using to grow the Zach Vacay account. I mean, we have repost accounts, as you can see as well, like best hotels and Gone Outdoors and luxury hotels. Those are all repost accounts, guys. But you can use those pages, right? Like, think about it. If you use, like, you could create like a luxury homes in San Diego page, or San Diego like luxury homes or something like that, right? Or at luxury homes or at luxury real estate page. You can use
They're
that
out
page.
there. They're huge pages. They're huge.
Yeah, you could find a name that's not taken, create your own page, use that page to grow fast with these repost strategies that and hashtags and engagement strategies that I taught you today, and use that page to drive traffic to your main page, or use that page to do sell sponsorships and deals. Use it to connect with other people. And so there's a lot of things that you can do when you have a big page.
Is it, you want to read through some of those questions real quick?
Okay. So yeah, okay. So
let me ask you one thing while you're reading those questions. So
yeah.
there's obviously a few people on here very interested in your services, and let's say they're sold on the idea. And I want to be very respectful to your time and your company. Mm-hmm. And I kind of want permission to say, just so you guys know, this is a very high-end product, and unless you're willing to spend, a couple thousand plus a month, it's not worth trying to dive in for them for help. This isn't a $297 a month product. but also there are some pretty big people watching this that are going to for sure hire you and do have the money. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, guys. I just want to protect his time and his company. What should they say? I mean, I want you to know that they came from this webinar. What
Yeah.
should they say? You know, hey, I want to kind of do what Mike's doing, or I mean, because I have the plan laid out with him. We spent time on the phone doing this, but what should they say when they call you or your company?
So you guys want to, so think of a Sistagram as like your own personal virtual assistant, your own growth member from my company that's creating the content for you, curating it, doing the engagement groups, doing the hashtags, grinding on your account, doing hundreds of thousands of manual actions every single day, 7 days a week, handling everything for you, growing it thousands of followers per month. If you guys are into that, then I would say, set up a strategy call with us, go to sistagram.com. And then as you're filling out the questions, just use the code like Team Bjorkman VIP. I think that would be good. Team Bjorkman VIP. So then we know that it's coming from Mike, and we'll give you a special deal and hook you guys up
That's
for
what I
sure.
was trying to ask for without asking for it. Team Bjorkman discount.
Yeah.
Cool.
So instead of like, our normal prices, we can give it for 2,000. So it's usually 3,500 a month for this package, but if you use that code and sign up, then we can do it for 2,000 a month. And then it's a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah.
So
Cool. So
yep.
then you guys watching on Facebook, I'll have Zach come into the group and type in the comments some of that stuff too, and some of the stuff that you guys are missing out. Because a lot of times these replays are in our Facebook group. People watch them when they're not, working their booties off at 10 o'clock on a Monday morning. So all right, let's put a bow on this. So is there any blogs that you do? Is there any ebook? Is there any something that's got some of the stuff in writing that can help them out? I know it
For
was a
sure.
lot of valuable information. And what this did for me is to make me say, F this, F that. I never will have time for that much work, because it does sound like a full-time job to do this, right? So thank God that we found you, right, to help us out. But there are some very valuable stuff that you talked, and I am in some of those engagement groups, and you're right. If you're not in a bunch of them, it doesn't work, because if everybody's not fully committed, it doesn't work. Like there's a couple groups, and I feel bad for these guys, and I'm trying to help them, but it's just time is like, you're right. People do have to be very serious about their Instagram account to do this the right way. And
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad anymore plateauing at that 6,000 mark. I really don't feel guilty. I kind of feel like a nerd. I kind of feel like, a loser when people unfollow me, but now I'm getting it. I'm starting to understand Instagram more. So some of those followers, of course they don't want to follow me, right? but we get 100 a month and lose 100 a month, get 100 a month and lose 100. It's just frustrating. But now it's time to go big, and it's time, Zach. We're finally going to do this.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. And if you guys want the free growth hacking guide that we talked about, and so like all the information that I talked about today, plus a lot more, then go to my website. It's assistagram.com. So assistagram.com. And right at the top, as soon as you go to that website, it's going to have a free guide that you can download. So type in your email, boom, it'll be on its way. And, from there on the site, you can also set up a strategy call. And that's probably the best way to contact us, is just through the website. And you can always reach out to me as well, guys. I mean, you can at Zach Vacay is my personal Instagram. And then, again, my name is Zach Benson, and you can find me on Facebook, message me. We'll be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Cool, man. Well, dude, I can't begin to tell you how much I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to take care of my tribe here, and it means the world to me. Thank you for being so accessible to them, because you guys, normally he's not very that accessible. He's running massive accounts. So thank you so much for doing that, man. And you guys could reach out to me over the next couple of weeks, couple of months, and I'll share with you more of my journey on what we're going to be doing with our Instagram, and of course everybody that's in our EXP organization and family. We're going to have a separate class about what we're using for our funnels and for what we're going to be building with that. So cool, man. Well, thank you so much. I
Yep.
appreciate you more than you'll ever know. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. The recording will be up in the next day or so on the YouTube channel. And if you're watching this and you're not already in our Facebook free coaching group, it's Agent Mechanics Coaching with Mike Bjorkman. That's Agent Mechanics Coaching with Mike Bjorkman. I'll be more than happy to let you guys in there, and we'll share the wealth and the knowledge and show you how everybody around us is dominating their marketplace. All right, guys. Thanks, Zach, again, and I'll talk to you real soon, buddy.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right, bye, guys.